stamping is going to be on this Whisper White. This is actually 3 3/4 by 5. And then we get to the way cool punch part of it all. We have a piece of Whisper White that is a 1/2 inch by 2 inches. We have a piece of Real Red, which is the next layer, which is 2.5 by 3/4, and then the Pacific Point, which is 3 inches by 1 inch. And so each of these are a step up in the punch. So the smallest one here, I don't know if you can see, it's a multi-level punch. So this first level here is a 1/2 inch, so that's going to be perfect for sliding in the Whisper White. The next one up is the Real Red, is going to go right in there, and it's perfect. The only thing I do recommend when you're cutting your cardstock to go through this particular punch is it is not exact. I didn't get it right on. I get just a slightly thinner. So I don't even, let me take out my cutter here and I'll show you. So for like, so I ended up, for the inch one, I kind of just came on to this line for the centimeters. There we go, get that in camera. So it's actually just a little tiny bit, just a fraction of, it's not even a full 1/16 of an inch that I went over, just to make it a little bit. Otherwise, if you get right on the money for your cutting for this, it's going to be a little on the snug side to get it in there, and I just don't like that. So that's my tip for you for this. Well, tip number 1. So, real fast here, I'll get this going. You guys are probably getting tired of me yapping. So, I'm going to start off with stamping my sentiment. No, I'm not going to get started with that because I want to make sure that I get it centered. So, this guy is a little small. So if you stick him in there, you're not going to have very much room to hold on to him. See? And he's not going to go all the way in. So, I take a sticky note, and on the sticky end, I start off and cut just a little strip. Maybe about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, 1/4 of an inch. And I stick this on there so that way I can hold it, and I have a place to hold it while it's in the punch. So then I'm going to go ahead and use this real fast. And then you're still going to want to kind of eyeball it on from this side to make sure you're getting it kind of lined up. The first time I did this, I was like, oh, that's not right. And I'm a perfectionist, so this is going to be, I might end up having to cut this, take this down a little. Might have to edit some of this out. Some of the fighting with this paper. Alright, that's close enough for me. And then I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to flip it over. Now this is kind of a newer punch, so it's going to be giving me a little bit of oil on it, so I'm not that worried about it. But if you were, I would recommend running your cardstock through or some scrap cardstock through it a few times. And that's pretty good. It's going to be a little bit off for me tonight because I'm still getting used to this punch. And then for these, it's a little bit easier because they're a little bit longer. So go ahead and just put that in there. I think my punch is off just a skosh. I'm going to make sure that I've got that right, nice and neat. They say the best way to do this is to have it on the table and stand up and punch it down, but I'm I like to see where I'm punching. So I turn it upside down and I sit down while I'm doing it. Get that lined up again. Maybe I do need a little bit of sticky on there to hold it still. The last one I didn't. There we go. I guess I'm too perfectionist. And then last but not least, the Pacific Point, which is going to go right in there. And this one you kind of have to put down in there and then lay it down. It's just kind of kitty wampus to me. Like I said, I'm still getting used to this punch. I think that's good. It seems like it goes so far into me, so I gotta get used. Gotta get used to this punch. But it's such a pretty punch. I love how you have two different options, because you have one that's got more of a rounded edge and one that's more flat edge. Gives you an option. Change it up. Pick a punch. Alright. Now that I've got that and I've yapped about that, I'm going to take out a scrap piece of paper here just to be on the safe side, because my stamp is kind of funky. The joys of being the first run. So, I have a little mark on this particular stamp because when I put the sticker on, I didn't first make sure that the sentiment was more, it's like it was cut off, but it didn't cut into the actual image, so it's still a good stamp. It's just lower than what I was expecting. And so I kind of did some stamping off of paper by accident. But I'm going to stamp the smile in Pacific Point. And that little arrow thing is reminding me that I need to stamp it just a little higher, because the bottom of it, see, the bottom of it is just a little low. Stampin' chummy. And then I'm going to keep my scrap paper out, because I'm definitely going to be stamping off on this page, because I'm going to be making my own like DSP. So Pacific Point and the flower, and I am going to start just stamping random stamps all over this piece of paper, all over this cardstock. And so I will probably end up going ahead and stamping all of this Pacific Point, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my Pacific Point colored flowers all over, and I am done with the Pacific Point, so I am going to go ahead and close that up, bring out my real red, and I will do the same thing with the real red. So I'm going to be tap dancing a whole bunch of real red little flowers all over here. Some of them are going to go off the paper, because if you cut DSP, you're going to have some things that are kind of going off of the paper, and that's kind of what we're kind of looking for, is that kind of look. So you want to stamp off to make it look, I guess, more authentically DSP. And with two colors, it's not, you're going to get two that are close by that are the same color, so I'm not too worried about that one. Just as long as you have some red real red and you have some Pacific Point blue on here. And you don't forget to stamp off. Put another one there. I think I can fit another one in here. I think that's good. I'm happy with that. So now it's just putting this beautiful card together without putting my finger in ink. Stampin' Chamois comes out again. Clean off my stamp. And apparently my block too, because I got messy. So here are all my pieces. I have my real red cardstock and my Pacific Point layer here. So I'm going to go ahead and layer this on here. And then I'm going to go ahead with my homemade DSP using those flowers. And I'm going to center them onto my Pacific Point layer as such. And then I'm going to go ahead and layer the same way on, well, semi same way, a little bit reversed. So my smile, I am going to tack down onto my real red, which is why I say it's a little bit reversed, because of the fact that real red, Pacific Point stamped, and then this we're doing Pacific Point real red stamped. A little bit. I would say that I had some sort of wonderful reason for that, but actually it's because I spaced out and forgot that I did real red for the card base. But that's a little off. Try it again, shimmy it up, there we go. But I think it looks good reversed like that, so I'm not too mad at myself. And I have just used up a strip of dimensionals. I found it while I was cleaning my craft room. So I'm like, I better use those up. Take the back off my dimensionals. And this I put down on the bottom corner. If you had any imperfections in your stamping, you could always put this to cover up whatever you misstamped. But I'm still going to go in the bottom corner for this one. And there we are, a finished card. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this project, please like, share, subscribe, and watch more. You can find links to my Stampin' Up! Store, blog, dimensions, and the product list in the description below. Until next time.